Now, the debate over whether the island should have assisted dying legislation continues later this month. After an extra sitting of the House of Keys was given the go-ahead, members will meet again for the third reading of the bill after completing the clauses stage yesterday. One of the new additions to the bill approved this week was the inclusion of protection for healthcare workers who opt in to providing assisted dying services. Well, Onchan MHK Julie Edge has put forward several amendments throughout this clauses stage, and she joins us this morning. Now, Ms Edge, you've highlighted a number of areas within this bill that you felt have needed tweaking or strengthening, and in particular with this protection for medical professionals. I think yesterday you said that it would provide more security, make it more secure for them. So do you think this now goes far enough?
Certainly it's an improvement, but with over 90 amendments to a bill, is it an improvement? I don't think so. I think the bill's been very poor from the outset. But with regards to this particular point, one of the questions asked of the amendment for Mr Hooper was, does it only apply to registered doctors paying their taxes on the Isle of Man and health workers? And he's never answered that. And that's quite concerning because throughout the bill, there has been changes and movement in goalposts. And I think for security for the people of the island, we need to know that, and particularly we have a right to know when a medical professional is actually treating you on the island, you have a right to know what their activities are. And I think it should be a public register as well.
Now, this time yesterday, we were hearing from Dr. Allinson, who told us that there is a silent majority of people on the island who support this. This was a quote that you picked up on and highlighted during the sitting yesterday. Do you agree with that comment?
Well, I'd like to know who his silent majority is. It's quite clear and has become more clear throughout the going through these stages. The move of the bill, Dr. Allinson, hasn't done very much public engagement. In fact, I don't believe he's called one public meeting to inform the public since this has been going through the House of Keys. We've had 7 full days of debate. But actually, the island consultation that he did do at the outset with 3,326 responses, which was only 4% of the island's population, ran for 8 weeks. It actually found that the majority are against assisted dying. But Dr. Allinson seems to have ignored that result, and he wants to quote a commissioned poll by Dignity in Dying, and I don't agree with that. And I think really what we should be doing is giving the Manx people the option on this bill. We shouldn't be rushing to a third reading. He's always stated that it's not a race, where suddenly here we are having an extra sitting on the 23rd July to go to third reading. LegCo do not sit over the summer. LegCo won't be sitting until October unless he's got arrangements with them in place as well that we don't know about. But I do question if he's ignoring an awful lot of the information from the Isle of Man Medical Society, where 74% of doctors are against assisted dying. What risk is that for our island? And then when they will not say who can be part of this register, is it just people that are registered to work on the Isle of Man, paying their taxes, part of our community, so they can be held to account? We've seen that with recent employment tribunals, haven't we? That we cannot always hold people to account if they're not in our jurisdiction. And that's a real risk to the island, in my opinion.
Now, you mentioned there going to the public and engaging with the public. You were one of the MHKs who voted in support of a referendum when that was an idea that was discussed last week, particularly given that there has been so much change to this bill throughout the clauses stage. Do you think there does still need to be that extra engagement with the public?
There hasn't been any engagement, Sean, from the outset. There's been, Dr. Allinson, the mover of the bill, will say he's been to meetings, but he's been asked to go to them. He's not actually himself done what the mover of the private members bill in Scotland's load of public engagement. Jersey, slightly different because it's a government bill. Absolute full information to the public. I don't believe the public of the Isle of Man are fully aware of the implications of this bill. He's all about choice, he says, but let's have that choice then. Let's have the choice of a referendum. Don't be afraid of it, Dr. Allinson. Have a referendum. Give the people of the Isle of Man that choice, not the silent majority.
What options are there then for that referendum? There was a vote last week. The support wasn't there at that time. Is there an opportunity for either yourself or one of the other members to kind of put this back on the table?
Well, I think obviously listening to some of the summing up yesterday and some of the comments utilised, and certainly by Dr. Allinson yesterday morning, he said we need to get to the stage that we're normalising this. And I was absolutely flabbergasted that he used the word normalise. We're talking about a minority of people that may wish to use this, and we need to make sure it's the most safest piece of legislation for everybody on the island. A lot of vulnerable groups will be very concerned at hearing about a normalisation of assisted dying, and I do think there is further opportunity. Should there be an extra sitting on the 23rd of July to move the third reading of a private member's bill? That's been the Speaker's choice, but it's very questionable in my opinion. I believe 8 people have signed it. I believe the mover of the bill is possibly one of them that's signed to have that extra sitting. So, we'll certainly be continuing to work to try and get a referendum for the people of the Isle of Man. It should be their voice, their choice, not just the silent majority to normalise a process of assisted dying.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.